Does Rolex actually benefit from fake and replica watches? Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna talk about something that's been at the back of my mind for a real long time. And to be honest with you, I was very hesitant to make this video because it's super easy to be misunderstood on YouTube, especially since there is no feedback loop. So I try to communicate my message as clearly as possible. But again, there is no feedback until after I post the video. So a lot of times things that I can say in the video can be misunderstood or misinterpreted. Let's get one thing out of the way. I don't personally encourage or recommend you go out and buy fake or replica watches. I am against them. However, if that's what you want to do, if you want to go out and buy fake watches, cool. That's your choice, your money, you do as you wish. But I think they do hurt legitimate businesses in some ways. And I don't encourage my audience or you guys to spend your money on these fake watches. With that out of the way, let's talk about why I picked Rolex for this video. Well, because they are the best at marketing. If you go out on the street and ask everyday average people to name a luxury watch brand, chances are they're gonna name Rolex because they are the best at marketing themselves. Maybe they're not the best watches, and a lot of people would argue that they're not. A lot of people would argue that they are. Again, not the point of this video. The point is that Rolex is, hate them or love them, best at marketing to everyday average consumers. So why do I say that Rolex profits or benefits from fake or replica watches? So my whole argument here is based on one simple fact: the Jones effect and the marketing effect of your peers. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you go out and you buy a Rolex Submariner from an AD. You know it's legitimate because you bought it from authorized dealer. You wear it on your wrist, you wear it to your business meetings, you wear it around the office, to your golf games, to the tennis club, whatever. You wear it all over the place because you're proud and you're happy with your Rolex Submariner. What that does to your peers, to your friends, to your neighbors is gives them a little signal that makes it acceptable to go ahead and buy one of these watches because, hey, Dave has it, Mike has it, Joanne has it, whoever. They have the Rolex, so you know what? I'm not worse than them because Rolex, in a lot of people's eyes, is perceived as a status symbol, something to aspire to. So when they see you wear a Rolex, naturally they want one for themselves. Now, I shouldn't say that everybody does this because obviously this doesn't work on everyone, but it is a known psychological fact. It's called the Jones effect and it exists. You can't deny that it exists. The more people have something, the more you want it. For example, Apple back in the day used this tactic brilliantly. What they did, they made the colors of their headphones white. So those headphones really stood out. So whenever someone had an iPod in their pocket, they had the white headphones or headbuds, and everybody knew that you had an iPod, they wanted one. Subconsciously they wanted, now maybe some people wanted this consciously because they saw that other people had it, their peers had it, and that's the Jones effect. So Rolex knows this, all the major companies know it. And that's why they make products that stand out from the crowd. They make products that are distinct looking, so you can recognize the watch, or you can recognize the earbuds, or you can recognize the TV, whatever. That's why logos exist. That's why Apple, again, puts their big Apple logo on the back of Mac computers or the MacBooks, whatever they're called. So let's go back to our analogy. Let's say Dave bought a Rolex Submariner and everybody around him now subconsciously also wants a Rolex Submariner or a Rolex watch in general. Some of them wanted more, some of them wanted less, but there is attraction to the brand, and at least Rolex is getting some free marketing and free advertisement because everybody already knows Rolex, and this just kind of reinforces that image of Dave has a Rolex, I want Rolex subconsciously. Now, what happens if Dave actually bought a fake Rolex? A pretty good replica. We're not talking about the $50 replicas or the fake watches that you buy on a subway station. We're talking about kind of a mid-tier to higher end replica where it's hard to tell if it's real or if it's not. Especially if your friend has it, you probably won't question them whether it's real or not. And chances are if Dave or David, I forgot the name that we used for the example, but let's say Dave bought this replica watch he's probably not going to go around and tell everyone that it's a replica or tell everyone that it's a fake. He might tell some of his close friends, but everyone around will assume that it is a genuine Rolex. So with that logic, it doesn't matter whether the Rolex is real or not. It still promotes the Rolex name. It still promotes the success associated with Rolex brand. And also having these watches faked even makes it more desirable because it's something that people like so much, people that want to have so much, that they are willing to fake it. They're willing to buy illegal goods just to own this watch. So again, coming back to Dave, wearing now this replica watch that looks pretty much the same as the real one, walking around his tennis club, walking around with his golf buddies, having barbecues with his neighbors. People will notice his Rolex and they will want one too. They're not gonna know if it's fake or real. They just know that they want a Rolex and thus promoting the Rolex brand. So the title of this video shouldn't be, does Rolex actually benefit from fake watches? It's that Rolex benefits from the marketing created by fake watches because there are so many of them and so many people wear them without telling other people about it. And thus I think Rolex actually benefits from having all these fake watches around. Now, it's not all benefits to Rolex, okay? I know there are a lot of downsides of people buying fake Rolexes. Number one, a lot of people actually get tricked into buying a fake Rolex. They buy one off Craigslist or they buy one on internet, on eBay, and instead of getting a genuine one, they buy a fake one and spend money as if it was a genuine one. So now Rolex lost a customer because the customer didn't buy a real Rolex. Instead, they bought a fake one and they already used up the money, so Rolex doesn't get any of that money, right? So that's a bad side effect. Another side effect is, of course, that people would be less likely to buy a Rolex because they're afraid to buy a fake one, but I would argue that doesn't affect ADs or Rolex directly as much. If anything, it actually even benefits them because now people are afraid to buy a used Rolex because they think it's going to be fake, so they go directly to Rolex ADs and buy a real one. So again, kind of an indirect benefit to Rolex as a brand from having fake watches around. Now, what about an argument that says, hey, since fake Rolex watches exist, people would rather buy a fake watch than a real one, so Rolex loses customers. Not only they got tricked into buying a fake watch, but also that deliberately bought a fake watch. Now, I have an argument against that. 80 to, let's say, 90% of people that actually purchase fake watches, fake Rolex watches deliberately, and I'm just making the statistic up. It's not based on anything, it's based on my gut feeling, are not willing to spend money on the real one. So Rolex would never have this customer in the first place unless, of course, they lowered their prices. And now some of you in the comment section will say, hey, I have the real one and I bought a fake one as a substitute for whenever I travel or when I go to the beach. That's cool. But then again, Rolex didn't really lose out on the customer because you already bought a real one. And it's not like you were going to buy another one because the fake one didn't exist. If anything, who really loses out from the business of fake Rolex watches is kind of mid-tier watch companies like Seiko, like some Hamiltons, like Orient, a lot of Japanese brands, Citizen, because if you didn't have an option of a fake watch, if it just didn't exist, then you would go to probably like a Seiko or an Orient or a Hamilton or Tissot for watches like this in that similar price range. So let's say from $200 to $400, because they still offer great value for money. And my argument is, if you are buying a fake watch, at least consider buying one of these watches instead of buying the fake one, even though according to this video, Rolex still benefits from you buying a fake watch, but you are hurting some mid-tier companies like I mentioned, like Seiko, like Orient, and all of these companies that sell watches in $200 to $400, because now people, instead of buying these watches, spend their money on fake Rolexes. I hope I made this video as clear as possible. My theory is not that Rolex deliberately profits from these fake watches, but by accident they profit from the marketing that these fake watches provide. And because Rolex is such a well-known brand, they have so many iconic designs already, that this extra marketing that happens because people wear fake watches and kind of promote them all over town and make other people want them just happens as a byproduct by accident. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm completely wrong. I've been thinking about this for a while, but I'm not too proud to admit that I've been wrong many times in my life, and maybe I am wrong about this as well. The point of this video is to start a civilized discussion. Please be nice to each other in a comment section below, and let me know what you think about this theory that Rolex profits from the marketing created by fake watches. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you agree with some points. Please leave all those thoughts below. I'm always curious to hear your comments, especially on this subject. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. By the way, today on my wrist, I'm wearing my vintage Seiko 5. I picked up this watch at the flea market. Still haven't done a review. That's coming soon. So of course, subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss that video. Thanks for watching this video. There is a secret link in the description below. Check it out. Hopefully you like this one. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.